All right. The great Gideon called to service. Then the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian for 7 years. So here we go. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. Because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made for themselves the dens, the caves, and the strongholds which are in the mountains. So they're trying to be safe now. They're trying to protect themselves now. So it was whenever Israel had sown, Midianites would come up, also Amalekites, and the people of the east would come up against them. Then they would encamp against them and destroy the produce of the earth as far as Gaza, and leave no sustenance for Israel. So now Israel's hungry. Okay? Neither sheep, nor ox, nor donkey. So nothing. Nothing. For they would come up with their livestock and their tents, coming in as numerous as locusts. Both they and their camels were without number, and they would enter the land to destroy it. So Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. So now they've done evil. The Midianites and the Amalekites, were going against them. Now they're hungry. So now they're crying out to the Lord. Okay? And it came to pass, when the children of Israel cried out to the Lord because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent a prophet to the children of Israel. See, now he's saying, okay, since somebody seeks my word, who said to them, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt and brought you out of the house of bondage. So he's saying, brought you out of Egypt, brought you out of bondage. Okay, already helped you. Now what? And I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all who oppressed you, and drove them out before you and gave you their land. So he's like, this is supposed to be your land. You know, I did all this stuff for you. Also I said to you, I am the Lord your God. Do not fear the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice. So God's saying, I told you. So now you're obeying their God, doing whatever, not following me, but you want my help. It was kind of like back whenever me and somebody that I know we're still friends. She knew where I was whenever she wants somebody to babysit her kids. Close to our falling out, this person didn't really want to talk to me or anything like that. Then when she wanted somebody to watch her kids, I remember she knew where I was. It's like, oh, now you know who I am. That's how people are. Now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Ophrah. Okay? So here's the angel of the Lord sitting under the tree. He's just waiting. He's like, somebody gonna come. Which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites. So Gideon's hiding. He's like, I don't want them to find the food, okay? And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. And he's looking at her going, me? Gideon said to him, oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us about? Saying, did not the Lord bring us out from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hand of the Midianites. Then the Lord turned to him and said, go in this might of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you? Like, have I sent you? Go, go. So he said to him, O my Lord, how can I save Israel? Indeed, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. He's like, I'm not even strong. How am I going to do anything? And the Lord said to him, surely I will be with you, and you shall defeat the Midianites as one man. Can you imagine God saying that to you? You're like, yeah, you're going to defeat them. You. And you're like, me? Then he said to him, if now I have found favor in your sight, then show me a sign that it is you who talk with me. So he's trying to say, okay, I must be dreaming, pinch me, something, you know. Do not depart from here, I pray, until I come to you and bring up my offering and set it before you. And he said, I will wait until you come back. So Gideon went in and prepared a young goat and unleavened bread from an ephah of flour. The meat he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and he brought them out to him under the terebinth tree and presented them. Amen. I gotta move my nails. Okay. All right. Here I am. The angel of God said to him, take the meat and the unleavened bread and lay them on this rock and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put out the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and the fire rose out of the rock and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread. Barbecue! And the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. Okay, after seeing that, I'd be like, yep, okay, I'm going. Now Gideon perceived that he was the angel of the Lord. Yeah, I think I would perceive that after that. So Gideon said, alas, O Lord God, for I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. Then the Lord said to him, peace be with you, do not fear, you shall not die. So Gideon built an altar there to the Lord and called it, the Lord is peace. Okay, so he's like, the Lord is peace. I have peace now. I know the Lord is with me. Okay. To this day, it is still an offering of the Abiezrites. That's cool. Now it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, take your father's young bull, the second bull of 7 years old, and tear down the altar of Baal that your father has. So he says, tear it down, okay? And cut down the wooden image that is beside it. And build an altar to the Lord your God on top of this rock in the proper arrangement. And take the second bull and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the image, which you shall cut down. So Gideon took 10 men from among his servants and did as the Lord had said to him. But because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, oh, here we go, too much to do it by day, he did by night. So he just seen God eat some barbecue and disappear. And God says, this is what I want you to do. And he goes, okay, I'll do it. But I don't want anybody to see I'm doing it. They're probably going to kill me. God just said back here, a couple verses back, you will not die. So maybe he's just afraid of getting beat up. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, there was the altar of Baal torn down, and the wooden image that was beside it was cut down, and the second bull was being offered on the altar which had been built. And they're going, what just happened? So they said to one another, who has done this thing? And when they had inquired and asked, they said, Gideon the son of Joash has done this thing. Then the men of the city said to Joash, bring out your son that he may die, because he has torn down the altar of Baal, because he has cut down the wooden image that was beside it. So they're like, he destroyed our God, our wooden image. He destroyed it. You must pay. Okay. But Joash said to all who stood against him, would you plead for Baal? Would you save him? Let the one who would plead for him be put to death by morning. If he is a god, let him plead for himself. I like that. Because his altar has been torn down. Therefore, on that day, he called him Jerubbaal, saying, let Baal plead against him, because he has torn down his altar. Then all the Midianites and Amalekites, the people of the east, gathered together, and they crossed over and encamped in the valley of Jezreel. So now they're mad. They're like, we're going to fight. Okay. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and then he blew the trumpet, and the Abiezrites gathered behind him. He's like, okay, we're fighting. Done with this. Done. Okay. And he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who gathered behind him. He also sent messengers to Asher, Zebulun, Naphtali, and they came out to meet them. So here's all the tribes again. He's like, come on, we go fight. So Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, look, I shall put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, and it is dry on all the ground, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. I already said I'm going to do this. He's like, okay, I want to double check and make sure before we continue this fight. And it was so. And when he arose early the next morning and squeezed the fleece together, he wrung the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, do not be angry with me, but let me speak just once more. That sounds like Abraham. Remember whenever Abraham was saying, wait a minute, if there's 10 good people in this city, and then went 9, all the way to 1, I think, or something like that. They didn't even find one person that was good in the city. Okay. Then Gideon said to God, do not be angry with me, but let me speak just once more. Let me test, I pray, just once more with the fleece. Let it now be dry only on the fleece, but on all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night. It was dry on the fleece only, but there was dew on all the ground. See, don't say God does not have patience. He has patience. Because people test him all the time. Even today, people test him all the time. They're like, am I sure you're talking to me? Am I sure that you really want to do this? Am I sure that, if he done said it, he done wants you to do it. But, people have to feel like they know for sure. So, but, yeah. So anyway, so that's about Gideon. So, that's, where we'll stop for now. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think Gideon's going to be like, okay, I've got my signs, let's go fight? Or do you think he's going to chicken out? What do you think's going to happen? ready to fight. Here it says Gideon's 300 men. So that's what we're reading next. He already done gathered up the men. So, yeah. So we'll see how God's going to deliver Israel. Anyway. Good morning, Facebookers and YouTubers. Oh, I have to work. But it's Thursday, and it's a payday. Yay! Payday, and then tomorrow's Friday, and then the weekend. Yay! So, y'all have a great Thursday. Bye.